We needed to come up with a name. The board needed a name, and we were up fishing up at Shaver Lake one day, and I kept saying, "God, how we got to keep breaking those barriers." And then she'd say it. It had a lot of barriers to break, and I go, "I think we're saying the name. We just can't quite put it together." And so we came up with "Break the Barriers."
I'm Debbie Hergenrader, and I'm co-founder of Break the Barriers.
I'm Steve Hergenrader, the co-founder of Break the Barriers.
And Break the Barriers was the answer to prayer for our family because of my sister Kathy, who had Down syndrome. We realized in 1960, when she was born, there was no place for her. There wasn't even a special ed degree for teachers to get back then. And so my mom had to really search places where they would allow her to participate. And I'm 5 years older, and so for me, I got to ride shotgun with my mom and learn all about what wasn't out there for my sister Kathy. And so the prayer was, how do we show the world that she can do things? She just needs a chance to show off that talent that she has. And there was an incident that happened that really woke me up to what we need to do to this world. And that was when my mom was signing my brother, who's 5 years older than me, and myself and my sister at Fresno High School. She was signing us up for swim lessons. And the woman said, "We can take your two older children, but we don't work with those kind of people," and pointed to my sister. And sometimes we heard things like, "Shouldn't she be closeted? Aren't they supposed to be kept inside so nobody sees that you have a child?" Back then that was called mongoloid. And so as a sister that claimed her right from the get-go, we slept together our whole life, because when we got twin beds, she'd end up in my bed anyways. But she was mine, and I said, "Mom, let me go talk to this woman." And my mom said, "Deb, we have a plan. Today, Kathy is going to cheer you guys on when you take your swim lessons, and then today we're staying for public swim." And during public swim, she's already a fish, and she could swim through my legs and through my brother's legs. Pretty soon the tunnel got longer. Everybody in the pool was joining into our party that we had going on. And the teacher was taking note. And at the end of the class, she said, "Your child will do fine in my class. I'd be glad to work with her. Matter of fact, I'm looking forward to it." And so riding home, my mom said, "You see, Deb, we have to show the people. We can't talk about it because they won't believe it. We have to show people the potential that they have." And so in the backyard is where it all started. And if it wasn't for this guy right here, we probably would have never started it.
Love's a pretty incredible thing. When we got married, it just hit it off. We're both top athletes, and we did a lot of things, very competitive all the way through our younger years of everything. Still are today. And so she needs to win everything, which is just very hilarious. So, but anyway, in the backyard, my dream was to create her dream making come true. So with love, passion, and drive, anything she needed was what I was always seeking out to make happen for her. And it was a miracle from God how it all transferred. And we were doing Special Olympics with just the kids that had special needs for a while. And then all of a sudden, when we opened up the backyard, it was for everybody. Her heart is so pure that she didn't care about creating, making any money. It was all free.
So what we did is I wanted to know what is our deaf and hard of hearing community doing? What are our kids that are in wheelchairs doing? And so I went to Norseman Elementary School and started teaching gymnastics to all the kids there, and started learning sign language, and also learned cued speech also for those that read lips. And then I went to what was called Ginsburg here in town, that became Powers Ginsburg and then Powers. But that's where all the orthopedic, the kids in wheelchairs, and then I go there and lift them out of their wheelchairs with permission and start somersaulting and rolling. And I just go to schools after schools. And it wasn't until Mark Allen, who's a principal over at Hamilton, and he had a Fresno County special ed program going on. And he said, "Deb, I heard there's Special Olympic gymnastics. Will you come train our students to be in the Special Olympics?" And I said, "Well, Mark, how about you give me 2 extra hours each day, and I'll train your Special Olympic athletes, and then I'll bring the backyard program over to the cafeteria of Hamilton school cafeteria. And that's where we went from the backyard to there. And then we expanded even more. We had 150 with a waiting list of 150. And then we started looking for a building, not understanding we have no credit support we don't have enough money to sign a lease on the size building that we needed. And so my dad was good friends with Harold Zinkin. He said, I'd be glad and honored to co-sign for you on paying the lease of this building. And so that opened the door big time for us. From then we started doing fundraising and to just get one mat, then two mats, then bars and a beam. And with a lot of prayers and a lot of growth in our numbers. And we were all on a high. The parents were on a high. The kids were on a high. And in the back of the mind, we kept thinking, how are we going to share what we're doing here? And that's when we developed the Barrier Breakers, now international performing team.
And we took off and we started with it was our Mickey Mouse group was our very first performance. And it was just amazing how it took off. It opened up the eyes, like I said, of people watching. They were all great and all good coaches, and all of a sudden it just blew up. We ended up with some really incredible stuff that nobody had ever seen before with the integration part. The team traveled all over the world pretty much, all except for one continent. And my son Jared and his wife Lisa were instrumental on that, with them going to Romania and doing work over there for a while. And Jared came back and goes, Mom, when they need help, they need help bad. A lot of our success here has been from the children that we've been working with for many, many years that have touched the hearts of so many people out there that have opened up doors and just given this whole world. There, like Debbie said, there was nothing going on with inclusion back when we first started.
One thing that happened, I was praying about the program and about inclusion, and I felt like God was asking me, you're talking about able and disabled. Which one of my children are you calling disabled? Aren't they all created perfect in my image? Have I not given them all gifts to learn and to do? Your job is to discover the gifts and develop those gifts and then provide opportunity for them to go share it with the world. And so with that in mind, that prayer was so strong, I thought we need to change our language. We've been saying for years so people would know we work with able-bodied and disabled. And I thought, we got to change that. So now we say we work with various abilities, because that's everybody. That's the sibling. That's everybody that comes in together. And so we get invited, and people just think it's a performance, but it's not. It's opening the eyes to the possibilities, and we're going to show you. We're not just going to talk about it.
Growing up as a son of the co-founders of Break the Barriers, I don't think I could ever imagine where we'd be today. Looking back when I was young, it was just a playhouse, a rec center, a place where we saw that all kids and adults were accepted. But seeing the ministry grow, seeing the programs grow, and seeing people catch on to that mission, that true inclusion, there's no barriers involved. And I think when we started traveling overseas and connecting with other countries and governments and changing policies government worldwide, that was a big highlight for me throughout this program.
We just blessed beyond belief to be able to have 40 years. We never thought that anyhow, 40 years would be something that we were looking at.
When I think back 40 years ago, we never could have imagined what we're doing today. We've added so much in the 40 years, from a veterans program to literacy programs to inner city outreach programs to refugee programs. I don't think my parents in their wildest dreams could have imagined that we would be here doing some of the things we're doing today. So many milestones throughout those 40 years, from our first really traveling as a team and performing for the International Special Olympics event, and then traveling to Denver, our first out-of-state performance, and then really partnering with our government and traveling around the world. I don't think my parents knew or even imagined that it would get outside of our community.
We must have been told, no, you can't do that 1,000 times when we first started.
I didn't hear anything, did you?
All the time. From the city, from different people, that'll never work. And it was just our passion, our dream was my passion to make it happen because of my wife's dream. And all of a sudden because we didn't quit being both top athletes, we lost, we won. But we weren't going to lose on this one because this was something that God had given us to carry the mission and make it work.
Just want to say thank you, Break the Barriers, for the life lessons, for the ability to be able to support my family, and just the amazing gifts and things I've gotten to do throughout this entire time I've been here, which has been most of my life. I wouldn't be the person I am today without it.
Break the Barriers give me a job and family inside my heart. My favorite memory, I went to this trip, went to a DR. I was turning a baby. He is deaf and blind. He touched over my face, and it made me really cry. I love it.
So the miracle of what's going on today is to be in a 36,000 square foot facility. This year they enclosed put a roof on the pool so we can use it 365 days a year if we need to. It's heated. It's absolutely gorgeous, and we've been blessed with so many people in this community. It's not just my family or anybody, but we are blessed with so many people that have given from their heart and continue to give. And without that support for Break the Barriers, it would never happen. So we always say we have one of the largest families in the world, I believe, from the people that believe in us, that love us, that pray for us, and they donate to us. And we have many, many ideas and for the future, for the next 30, 40 years, if maybe farther than that. So we need your continued
100. We're going to be 100.
100, yeah, you might. So we need your continued support. We're not even close to being done yet. My sons and the staff that are working here are always coming up with something different, and that's the neat thing about inclusion. We have just seen the miracles and how it works.
Yes, and a special thank you to all of our staff that we've had the blessing to meet over all the years. We couldn't have done it without you. You helped us figure out what works, what doesn't work. And then also all the students, we thank you as well, because you're teaching us while we were teaching you what we need to do to make this better. God gave us the baton to carry, but we sure have passed it off quite a few times to make this building grow and fill it up with all the students that we've been blessed with to meet. I thank you for carrying this outside of Break the Barriers. You guys are carrying the news for us that to look beyond what you think you see, because inside is ability. And what we all found out is that the magic is in the inclusion when we're sharing our gifts with one another. Thank you all for making it possible.